Good evening everyone, this is Manas, your friend and tutor, and welcome back to another wonderful session in mechanics of solids. And the agenda of today's session is to find the moment of inertia of a shape of an area with respect to an inclined axis. Now this is going to be extremely important if you're a civil or a mechanical engineer, and this basically lies in the course of engineering mechanics, but we are not able to relate to it from real life scenarios until you study unsymmetric bending. Now as you know very well that I have been uploading videos on unsymmetric bending, and this is where we stumbled in the last video, especially when we dealt with asymmetric cross sections. As I told you, if you want to apply the flexure formula, you should know the precise location of the principal axis, right? So again, the objective is to find the location of principal axis, and to find the location of principal axis you first need to know how exactly you can calculate the moment of inertia with respect to any angle, with respect to any set of axes, and everything will get clear ultimately, don't worry. So again, if you have been studying unsymmetric bending, this is very important for you, and if you have not been studying unsymmetric bending, this can be taken as a course in engineering mechanics where you need to find the moment of inertia with respect to an inclined axis. Watch this, what we know, this is what you know. A shape, okay, irregular shape, let's take an element, okay, dA at a distance of x and y, done. So if you want the moment of inertia of this small element, small moment of inertia with respect to x, dix is going to be y square dA, there you go. For the entire element, integrate both the sides, you will find the value of ix, done. So ix is basically integral of y square dA. Similarly, you can work out iy and ixy, that is the product of inertia. Now let me talk about what we want to know. We want to know the moment of inertia with respect to an inclined axis. Now the pair of axes will be mutually perpendicular, obviously. So if you watch what we want to know, horizontal, vertical, at a certain, okay, this is the shape that we'll be finding the moment of inertia. That's the inclined axis at an angle theta. There is the element. Let me place the element. Okay, so this is what we basically want to know, moment of inertia of this shape, right? This is exactly where it was. The only thing being this sort of axis has been lifted upwards, so x has become x dash at a certain angle. Now how would the moment of inertia change with respect to the new pair of axes, x dash with respect to y dash and with respect to x dash y dash, that means the product of inertia. This is exactly what our agenda of today's session is going to be. So here we go, watch. There is going to be a lot of construction, there is going to be a lot of trigonometry involved, and all that you've learned in your school level will come here, will be implemented. Alright, so just think about it. This is x and this is y. With respect to this transformed axis at an angle theta, there is going to be x dash, there is going to be y dash, like this. Previously x and y, element dA, now x dash and y dash. Fair enough? Okay. Now watch, a bit of construction needs to be done. Okay, that is what we wish to work out. Ix dash is going to be y dash square and dA, and iy dash is going to be x dash square dA, and ix dash y dash, that is the product of inertia, is going to be x dash y dash dA, done. So watch, shifted this x over here. Okay, things are going to get simpler, don't worry, this is going to be very easy for you to work out, right? And by the end of the video you will be able to work out the moment of inertia with respect to any inclined axis. That's a promise. Okay, so that's x. Bit of construction. If you watch carefully guys, this is x, this angle is 90 degrees and this angle also is 90 degrees. Let me put it up. So in front of this 90 degree angle you have the hypotenuse, whose length is x. Theta, and the side in front of it will have the sine component. So x sine theta, and this is going to be x cos theta. Similarly, if you take a look at this triangle, this over here is theta, right? Very easy. This is y, and this side over here is in front of theta, that's why y sine theta, and this is going to be y cos theta. Now we wish to calculate the new coordinates. Previous coordinates were x and y, the new coordinates are going to change, okay, because the axis is inclined. New coordinates are going to be x dash, watch the cursor very carefully, watch the cursor, x dash is going to be equal to x cos theta plus y sin theta, x cos theta plus y sin theta, that's y sin theta, done. Y dash, this is y dash, is equal to y cos theta minus x sin theta, done. So these are basically known as the transformation equations, and I'm sure I mean this is something which you have studied at the school level, maybe in class 11th, coordinate geometry, right? Points. So when I was researching for this topic, moment of inertia for this inclined axis, I actually went through this book. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Coordinate Geometry by S. L. Loney, a very popular book. You're going to find 2 parts of trigonometry also. Solved it to a certain extent and then I left it. Going above. Anyway, so some school time memories. Anyway, so these are the transformation equations, and what we wish to do now, let us put the value of x dash from this over here. Okay, no. Let us try to calculate I x dash is equal to integral of y dash square dA. So let us put this value y dash y cos theta minus x sin theta over here. This is what you get. You need to open it, y square cos square theta, x square sin square theta minus 2 times of x y cos theta sin theta. That's it. Now separate the integrals. Okay, done. dA inside, cos square outside. Again dA inside, sin square outside. Again 2 sin theta cos theta becomes sin 2 theta and xy dA. So this happens to be y square dA. Y square dA happens to be Ix. This integral of x square dA, this x square, this is x square. Let me show you x. This is x square dA happens to be Iy. Okay, and this happens to be the product of inertia. So let us just write this. So basically this is your first equation. So if you've got any angle theta, you just plug it in over here, and you should know the moment of inertia with respect to Ix and Iy. If you know that, you can obviously calculate Ix dash. It's very easy. Secondly, let's talk about Iy dash. Here you need to plug in the value of x dash. X dash is x cos theta plus y sin theta. Plug it in over here, expand it, and then shift dA to all the 3 expressions, all the 3 terms rather, and this is what you get. This is going to be Iy, this is Ix, and that Ixy. Okay, so I have written this over here. I have written x square dA as Iy over here, and that's it. Looking good. Second equation, second transformation equation you can say. And finally let us try to calculate I x dash y dash. So plug in both the values, you do the multiplication. This is what you get. Take xy as common. So cos square theta minus sin square theta, right? Sin theta cos theta becomes sin 2 theta over 2. Sin 2 theta equals to sin theta cos theta from that. Okay, just simple math. This is cos 2 theta, and shift dA inside with the integrals. This is what you get. This is Ixy, this is Iy, this is Ix. So this is sin 2 theta by 2, sin 2 theta by 2 can be taken as common, Ix minus Iy. This is positive Ix, this is Iy, and done. This is Ixy cos 2 theta. This is the third transformation equation, and finally you can write all of this like that. Isn't it easy? So there is one more version of this transformation equation. Let me show you that also, and that is easy to memorize. Okay, let me show you. That's version 1. Now what you can do is you can plug in the value of cos square theta as 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2 and sin square theta as 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. Just do these substitutions into these equations, and here you go, version 2 of the transformation equation. Both of them are what you say, 2 sides of the same coin, right? Exactly same, one and same, right? This is version 1, this is version 2. Very simple, isn't it? Okay. So that was all about transformation equations. If you've got any angle theta, so based on that, with respect to the new pair of axes, you can work out the new moment of inertia. That can be done very easily. Watch this. So this is basically a 3D intuition into polar moment of inertia. Watch this. This is x and this is y, and this was our element. Not element, but the irregular shaped area which we took. Okay. Now what we know? We know, according to perpendicular axis theorem, these two, x and y, are on the same plane. Okay, and this z axis is passing through the intersection of x and y. Then Iz, now z is perpendicular to x, z is perpendicular to y, right? Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. You know this from perpendicular axis theorem. What if I shift the axis from x to x dash, from y to y dash by a certain angle theta? Rotate the axis. What will happen? Will the polar moment of inertia change? No, it won't. Polar moment of inertia still remains the same. Polar moment of inertia Iz should be equal to Ix dash plus Iy dash according to principle. Okay, perpendicular axis theorem. But let us do a check. So we had these three equations from version 1. You can take version 2 also. What you do is add these two, add the first two equations. So over to the LHS you will have Ix dash plus Iy dash. In the RHS, Ix is common, cos square theta plus sin square theta. That means it is Ix only. Iy is common, sin square theta plus cos square theta, that is Iy. So Ix plus Iy, and this is minus, this is plus, will cancel out. So what remains? Ix dash plus Iy dash is equal to Ix plus Iy, done. That's proved. Ix plus Iy is equal to Ix dash plus Iy dash. I should have written over here Ix dash. Okay, where is the pen? Ix dash, Iy dash, yeah. All right. So that's it. Ix dash plus Iy dash is equal to Ix plus Iy. So that is exactly what I wanted to convey. Okay, so a bit of polar moment of inertia. Anyway, let us summarize all that we've gone through. So you had an irregular shaped area. Okay, so for which you knew the moment of inertia. You know Ix, you know Iy. How? Ix is equal to integral of y square dA. Iy is equal to integral of x square dA. You know that. Okay, that can be done. But you don't know what is the moment of the inertia of this figure, this area, this irregular shaped area with respect to x dash and y dash. Okay, so this is what is known. These are the transformation equations, and this is what we need to work out. So plug in the value of y dash here, plug in the value of x dash over here and here. This is version 1. This is what you get, and finally when you do the substitution in terms of cos square theta is equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2 and sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. This is what you get. That is version 2 of the transformation equations. Lovely, isn't it? Doesn't it look like principal stress? Doesn't this look like principal stress? Try to think about it. Sigma x plus sigma y over 2, and this is the shear stress tau. Okay, for principal stress there was actually two methods. One was the analytical method, the other one was the Mohr circle approach. So can the Mohr circle approach be applied to principal? I'll not talk more, maybe in the next lecture, but I'll just try to give you an intuition that all of this which we are calculating analytically can be done graphically also. So if you know Ix and Iy, then you can calculate the value of maximum and minimum moment of inertia and the moment of inertia at any angle theta. That can be done very easily. So that was all for today's lecture, and guys, in the next lecture, let me give you a sneak peek. We'll talk about principal moment of inertia, right? And what exactly, if you are dealing with a cross section, any cross section for that matter, symmetrical or asymmetrical, how to locate the principal axis. That is our first objective. Okay. So guys, that was all for today. I'm going to see you again in the next video. Until then, take care, have a nice day, keep learning, keep watching. Thank you.